This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk through this 2021 Forest River Salem model 29VD, or excuse me, 29VBUD, 29VBUD. Okay, I'm on the door side of the trailer here, so let me move to the rear. Okay, so you have regular crank down stabilizers. Takes a 3/4 inch crank or a 3/4 inch socket on a drill. The thing to know that this trailer has that add-on on each jack, which is called a strong arm. You can see it. Always make sure that this is loose right here. Let me see, I'm getting on camera. This is loose when you're bringing them up or down. Once you put it down in the position you want, you tighten this to take the forward and backward movement out of it. But always have them loose going up and down. Okay, when you get them up, you can snug them up a little bit so that teeth handle, that threaded handle doesn't spin out on the road, you know, and you lose it. So just give it a little tighten it a little bit when it's in the up position, you're ready to travel. But remember to loosen it and to when you take it up or down, and then tighten it when you get it in position. Okay, you got a power awning. This is your water heater here. It's a Dometic water heater. Okay, now this is a two-way water heater, meaning it works on both gas and electric. So the first thing I need to show you is, first of all, it's empty. You can see that the drain hole is open there. This is the drain plug / anode rod right here. Hopefully you can see that okay. It's in winterized mode, so the water heater tank is drained and it's in bypass mode right now. Alright, so this switch right here, this rocker switch in the lower left-hand corner, that controls the heating element, the electric heating element that's behind this cover here. So keep in mind, when you want to use this, you got to have this in the on position. Now you can't run the heater, you can't run the gas or electricity on this unless there's water in the tank. So once you put the plug back in and put the trailer into camping mode, you hook up your city water hose, and then you're going to turn on a hot water faucet, like over the kitchen sink for example, and it'll just be blowing out air, and eventually it'll be air and water combination, and when you get solid water coming out of the hot water, you know the tank's filled. Then you can turn it on. Alrighty, so you got power here, speakers obviously. You have a sprayer port. You get a coiled sprayer with it. I'll show you that when we come across it. This is the fill for the onboard fresh water tank. Now if you go to a campground that doesn't have plumbing on the campsites, you can pre-fill this tank and then use the onboard pump to pump water, so all the plumbing will work just like you have regular city water. Okay, the city water fills on the other side. I'll show you that when we get over there, but that's where you would fill the freshwater tank if you're going to use it. If you're not using it, if you're 9 times out of 10 you're using city water, so you don't even pay any attention to that. Alright, this vent here is a vent for the range hood. If you look under here, there are two little tabs where you would just pop this baffle open so it can flap freely. So if you're running the vent fan, you want to have that open to flap freely so it can vent. All other times when you're traveling or storing or whatever, you want it closed so it doesn't get broke and that sort of thing. So make sure you open it up when you're going to vent. Alrighty, so this is a outdoor cooking area. There's a refrigerator here, obviously just 110. It's like a dorm refrigerator. We're still cleaning your trailer now, so it's a little bit dirty still. Something was sitting on there. Okay, so the thing to remember about your griddle is that you have to plug in the LP. So you can see, let me get the camera here. So you can see there's a female end on this part here for the grill. Then the male end, which is stuck in there, is right here. Hopefully you can see that. I can't see the monitor very well. Anyway, you can plug it in down here. That's a quick connect for the LP system, so you always got to plug it in before you use it. Alright. Okay, so your steps fold right into the trailer. You can adjust the length of the legs to fit the terrain by pulling this pin here. There's one on each leg, and you can slide it up and down to the length you need. Okay. The other jack with strong arm. This here is in case you want to get a solar battery charger. That's just to plug it in and it would charge your battery. Your hitch is right here. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch. We'll show you how it operates when you come to pick your trailer up, but keep in mind you can always go to their website. Let's say you're using it for the first time, you need to refresh your memory and you're not familiar with it. You can always go to their hookup video also. There's the blue sprayer that I told you about that plugs into the Quick Connect. This goes on the end of a drill so you can crank your stabilizers. This crank here is for the tongue jack in case it fails, and this has to do with getting the awning in an emergency. You'll have to read up on this part right here, okay? Because it's something you really have to read while you're doing it. But the crank for the power tongue jack is right here. So you would pull this out, put the crank on there, and crank this manually. Hopefully you can see that. Like I said, I can't see the monitor at all in the sun. Right, like so. Alright, let me make sure that's on good. There we go. Okay. So, you got two LP tanks with an automatic changeover regulator. You open both tanks, it draws down the door side tank first, then shifts automatically to the off door side tank, and then back and forth. Alright, deep cycle marine battery. And this red plastic key here is a kill switch for the battery. So you can disconnect the battery just by turning that off. Therefore, when you're in storage, it won't draw power down. Like for example, the carbon monoxide LP gas detector is hardwired to the battery, so no matter what you do, it's always drawing from the battery. So you can shut it off right there, and hopefully when you come back, your battery will still be charged up enough to use it. Okay, that's important, of course. Now this is your dump valves. You got 3 of them here. 2 gray valves and a black valve. The black valve is toilet water and waste. The gray valve is sink and shower water. So you're always going to dump the black one first and then use the gray ones to, although it's dirty water, it's not as dirty water as the black water obviously, so you do that second. Now if you leave your black valve open, we'll come on over here, you can see this is a black tank flush right here. So with your valve open, it'll tell you right on the sticker to have it open. You put the hose at the dump station right on there, and it'll spray out the inside of your tank and clean it out. So that's a very good feature. Also, this is the city water connection I told you about. This is what you normally use. I told you that there was to fill your fresh water tank on the other side of the trailer. Well, if you have city water, you're just going to hook up right here. It's very simple. Your power cord is 30 feet and 30 amps. These are just cable and satellite through. Okay, this housing is telling us that this is pre-wired for a backup camera, so if you want to get the backup camera, get a Furrion camera that fits in that housing, and it's just plug and play basically, 4 screws and a plug. We sell them here, or you can pick them up all over the place. Alright, now while we're looking up here, I have to tell you that the manufacturer recommends that you inspect the roof every 90 days or so. So figure once in the spring, once in the middle of summer, once in the fall. You go up there or have somebody go up there, look at all the sealant on the roof, make sure there's no crack in your separation, make sure there's no damage from road debris on the fabric up there, or make sure that low branch didn't damage it. You just take a look around and make sure everything's okay. You inspect it just in case it needs to be taken care of. That's the main thing. So you always want to get the habit of inspecting it on a regular basis. Matter of fact, any place you see caulk that's from the factory, just give it a quick look. Okay, so we'll go inside here. Okay. So this is your control panel here. So you got the power awning here, like so. Goes out. Never leave it out unattended. So if you're leaving the campsite, you always want to roll it in so the wind doesn't get a hold of it and damage it. Your slide out is right here. You can hear this ratcheting sound. When it gets all the way out or all the way in, it'll make that sound. As soon as you hear that sound, you take your finger off the button. That just keeps it from overextending or over-retracting. So that's how you know. I just showed you the lights there. Now you can light the water heater on gas right here. You remember I showed you the electric switch in the lower left-hand corner outside? This is the gas feature, and to turn on your water pump, you do this. Okay? Your battery is charged, although you always want to check it when you're not plugged in. Fresh water is empty. It graduates up in 1/3 increments, as you can see. Black, same way. Gray 1, which is the tank for the shower and bathroom vanity sink, and then the gray tank number 2 they call a galley sink or a galley tank, which is for the sink right here. Okay, they're all empty. They graduate up. Once you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping the waste tanks. Excuse me. Okay, so we're still cleaning here. This has your fireplace is also a space heater. Okay, you can see it's flashing H right there. That means the fan is on high. If I wanted to, let me get the right button here. Here we go. So you can shut it off. You can go on low or high. Obviously, you can set the thermostat on it. You can, as I just did, change the appearance of the flame, like so, right? You can set a timer to turn on and turn off whenever you want it to. So you've got a blower on it, you've got a thermostat on it, you can change the fire feature to look differently, and you got a timer, and it's all controlled by this remote control, or the right here are the controls. Okay, this your sound bar is a radio, right? You can hook it right to the back of your TV, which would be right here. You can stream off this USB right here, take all your albums with you on one stick and use that. You can also hook up with Bluetooth and stream wirelessly from your phone or tablet. Let me shut the fire off there. And you have 2 speaker zones right here, 1 and 2. Also, you can go straight into the system through this HDMI. So if you got like a video game, one of those little boxes that kids use for a rainy day, a rainy weekend, you could set it right here and plug it in right here, and then go right into the system this way. So you can use that. And 2 speaker zones, I think I might have mentioned that, but zone 1 is inside, zone 2 is outside, and it has a radio in it, that sort of thing. So it does a lot, and that's the remote for it. Okay, now what they're telling us here, this pre-wired for a Wi-Fi booster plus router. So you'd have to go to their website, kingconnect.com, and look at their different products. Plus you could talk to our guys up in the middle of the store at the service area. They know all about them. But basically on the roof there'll be a panel too, so you can put an antenna on your roof, and then a router would sit here, and it basically just boosts the signal on public Wi-Fi, so you can get a much better public Wi-Fi when you're traveling. Okay? Alrighty, so let's see here. This sofa jackknife's flat for a bed, right? You can pull the poles out of this table and set the top onto these cleats here and use the cushion to fill in the space. You get another bed there. This divider comes out and can be moved. So you got that. Plus you got the bunk room where and normally when this is closed up, this bottom platform, you could turn it into a couch, right? But it also becomes a large bed, as you can see. Plus you got the 2 bunks. So there's a lot of different configurations. Now this device here is the power converter. So what this does is convert 110 AC to 12 volt DC. So let me just open it up for you. Alright, so you have regular household type circuit breakers here, right? And then they're labeled. Then the power is converted over to 12 volt DC over here. And you've got 12 volt fuses, just automotive style fuses, and they're all labeled here. So that's where the 12 volt comes from. It also charges your battery when you're as long as you're plugged in. It'll sense how much energy your battery needs up front. If it's totally charged, it'll just trickle a couple amps. If it's low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs to charge it. Okay. Also, if any of these fuses were to blow, they'll light up, and you can actually see them through this tinted plastic here. There's also a fan in it, a cooling fan, that will kick out when a demand is put on it. So you can barely hear it, but occasionally you'll hear it. Okay. Alrighty. So pantry. This is the water heater. The back of the water heater. You can see that it's in winterizing mode right now. You see that these handles are parallel with this line. This is a bypass line here. So because of that, right now water would come in to the system, and when it came to this part to go into the water heater, it would not. It'll go through the bypass line and loop back. That way you can pump antifreeze into the system without getting it in the water heater tank. You don't want to get it in the water heater tank because it leaves a really foul taste and it's hard to get rid of, so they give you this option to bypass it. So when you're going to camp in this, because it's winterized right now, you would hook up the city water, open all the taps, all the shower, outside shower, inside shower, everything you can, and purge it of antifreeze completely. So when the pink antifreeze stops coming out and nothing but clear water comes out, you know that you've got it out of the system. You're going to change this valve. You're going to change them so it's perpendicular with that line and point towards the water heater. So the valves will go this way, right? And then the water will go into the tank, fill up, and come out hot. But right now it's bypassed, so keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to leave that open so because our cleaners are coming in, they can clean it up. This is just a 12-volt compressor refrigerator, so it'll run off battery for a while. It'll run off your alternator on your tow vehicle when you're pulling it. That'll charge your battery, and this will send to your battery. When you're plugged in, the power converter sends 12 volts to it, remember? So keep in mind, you gotta push the lock over so they don't swing open and get damaged when you're traveling. Alrighty. So the microwave works like any other microwave. This is the range hood that I told you about. Remember, you can open the baffle on the vent outside if you're going to run the fan. Like so. It's got a light. Okay. Now, the range. I don't know if he's got the gas turned on or not. We'll find out here. So this is the sparker right here. You click it clockwise in order to spark it. So you would turn it on, and let's see if the gas is on. Yeah, it is. So you can see the burner lit. Okay, so you got a knob for each burner, of course. Then you have this one over here for the oven. Keep in mind that down here, all the way to the back, maybe I can turn that on for a second, all the way to the back is a pilot light. You can see it spark here. You should be able to see it anyway. So what you do is you put this to flame, to pilot light. You push it in, depress it, and hold it. You keep it depressed. You spark this till the pilot light lights, and after it lights, you still hold this in for another 10 seconds or so, then let it go. Set the operating temperature. When you shut it off, the flame goes off, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Alright, so this device over here, let me move this out of the way, is your LP gas and carbon monoxide detector. You can see how it's green right now. The LED is green. It should always be green like that. If it's not, you get it checked. You can test it. It'll go through 2 tests. First one just went, now another one's coming. There you go. And if it beeps very, very slowly, it's telling you your battery is low. So it does those 3 things: low battery, carbon monoxide, and LP gas filled up. Your thermostat is pretty simple. This bottom bar is just the mode button, so you're just going to push it. Hopefully you can see it. Off, fan, low, high, cooling, low, high, and auto. You always use auto if you can. High auto is really good. And then the furnace, and then off. The fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor, so it just circulates air. So keep that in mind. It's just that's all fan does. Alrighty, so let me look around a little bit here, see what I'm missing, if anything. Let me just look in some of the cupboards, see if there's anything I need to know about. No? Okay. Okay, so the bathroom, it's pretty, the sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. You got a GFCI. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI, so if the outside plug blows or clicks off, you can reset it inside. The toilet, the thing to remember, we're not hooked up to water right now, but there's the flush pedal down there, right? So that's the black tank right down there. So the bottom line is you can't use it without a little bit of water in it to start it off, about a gallon or so. So when you get to the campground, you hook up your water, your power, and then you come inside and you'll step on this pedal and just let water swirl around into the black tank, and you put about a gallon or so in there. There's no way to tell exactly what a gallon is other than just use common sense. It doesn't have to be exact. The thing is, you just can't have it empty when you start using it because it needs water in it for the obvious reasons. Okay. Bedroom, you got to hook up for a TV here and a backer plate on this wall so you can hang a bracket if you want. The only other thing here to really know is the emergency window, in case you don't know. You just open it this way. You would push it all the way through, obviously. Then you grab hold of this red tab and pull the screen out, and you can get out that way in an extreme emergency. Okay. All right. I think I covered everything here then. Let's see here. Let me look around. Yep. Okay. All right. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Keep in mind what I told you about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's one of the most important things a trailer owner can do. So make sure you do that on a regular basis, okay? Thank you very much.